Right, okay then. So during Beginner's Fortnight, you may have seen that I've been talking about some of the hidden Pilates principles of breathing, positioning, and getting that nice engaging through the center of the body. Okay, so we're going to be talking a little bit about that today, so you can just start to understand those principles a little bit. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we're standing up nice and tall with good posture. So I do this for every single class. We do like a setup. So what I want you to do first of all is to stand with your feet together, and then I want you to fan your heels and then your toes out. So you should be standing with your feet roughly hip width apart, okay? And then just bend the knees a little bit, just soften them into them a little bit. Wonderful. Okay, now stand up as tall as you can. And then feel like you're being lengthened up even more. Imagine you've got a thread coming out the top of your head and someone's pulling on it. And they're pulling you up to the ceiling a couple more inches. Now, let's just feel these shoulders just starting to melt down away from the ears. And then we want to have the chest nice and open as well. Okay, that's it. Wonderful. So we're standing up as tall as we can. Now, the breathing is really important in Pilates because if we breathe at the correct time, it makes the exercises easier. So I'm going to show you the type of breathing that we do in Pilates. We're going to breathe into the lungs if we're going to fill out the ribs. So I want you to take your hands and I want you to place your hands just at the bottom of the ribs there. Okay, now we breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, and we've got the hands on the ribs because I want you to feel like you are expanding the rib cage. So in Pilates we never breathe into the stomach, we always breathe into the ribs. So shall we have a little go? So we're going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose and then out through the mouth. That's it. And then we do it again. So we're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Wonderful. We'll do a couple more. So if you breathe in, hopefully you can feel the rib cage expanding under the hands. And then when you breathe out, you can feel the rib cage closing back down. So that's what we're looking for. We want the rib cage to expand and then close it down. And then we know we're breathing into the lungs then. Okay, wonderful. Let's bring the arms down. Now, alignment is really important in Pilates. That's why I got you to stand up as tall as you could to start with. If we exercise with the body in a good alignment, so we've got good posture, our exercises will encourage more of that good posture. So if we stand like this and we exercise, it'll just encourage more of poor posture. So we want to make sure now that we're in a nice, I call it a neutral position. This is referring to the spine. So when you're standing, you don't want to sort of stand like that with a big arch in the back, and you don't want to be too flat either. We want to be somewhere in the middle. So what I want you to do is to take one hand and put it on your tummy and one hand in the lower part of the back. Okay, and then all I want you to do very gently now is to arch and flatten your back. So you're working into those two extremes. I want you to arch your back a little bit more than you should, but don't force it. And then I want you to flatten it a bit more than you should, but again, don't force it. And I just want you to work nice and slowly, sort of tilting the pelvis backwards and forwards, nice and gently. Okay, so this gives you some indication of how much movement you've got in your lower back. Okay. And it's also a really nice exercise just to loosen things up and warm the lower spine up a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to see if we can come into that neutral position. So I want you to try and finish with just a slight curve in the lower part of the back. Think, slide your hand up and down a little bit if you want to. So not too arch, not too flat, just somewhere in the middle. That is your neutral position. Okay, I'll talk about it again when we come down onto the mat. So that's getting in that nice position. It's that natural curve that the spine has. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so we're standing up tall, we're breathing into the ribs, and we're in neutral. We've got that little curve in the lower part of the back. Now, All I want you to think about while you're doing this warm-up now is to stand up nice and tall and see if you can stay in that neutral position. Okay, that's the first challenge for you. Okay, I'll make the warm-up nice and easy then. Okay, so we're going to start with some shoulder rolls. So here we go. We're going to roll the shoulders all the way up to the ears and then roll them all the way back down. And again, we send the shoulders up to the ears and then back down. That's it, circling them around. Wonderful. So I always work nice and slowly. I never rush anything, okay? Let's go around the other way. Because then if we go nice and steady, we can really focus on what we're doing, can't we? That's it. Wonderful. Very nice. One more circle around. And then we'll relax those shoulders down. So feel again like they're just sinking down. That's it. Wonderful. We're going to do little arm floats. So all we're going to do is float the arms up in front and then float them back down. But we're going to see if we can do this one with the breathing. Okay, so I want you to take a nice deep breath in to prepare. And then as you breathe out, float the arms up. And then breathing in, we'll float them back down. And again, breathing out, we float the arms up. And then breathing in, we float them back down. Wonderful. And again, breathing out. And breathing in. Wonderful. So we don't want to take the arms too high, just to about shoulder height. That's fine. Because then we can keep the shoulders down nicely then. Wonderful. Very nice. Here we go. Here's the last one. Wonderful. And then we lower the arms. Actually, we'll bring them up again. Let's hold them there. Let's cross the arms, okay? Now, don't have your arms too high, okay? Just have the elbows just a touch lower than your shoulders. Now, we're going to do a little bit of spinal rotation. We're going to do a little bit of twisting. So have the knees a little soft. We're going to twist round to the left. So we'll go around to the left. Don't force it. Just go as far as you can and then bring yourself all the way back to center. Then we go the other way. So we rotate around to the right and then we come back to center. That's shoulders still nice and relaxed as we go around again. Wonderful. That's it. Very nice. So it's nice to get a little bit of movement through the spine. This is quite a nice way of doing it. Again, it's one of those exercises that are really good to loosen up the middle part of the back, this one. Here we go. Last one. Going round to the other side. And then come back to center. Wonderful. We'll lower the arms down. We'll just give those shoulders a little roll around, shall we? We'll work a little bit more on the spine, shall we? So make sure you've got the knees nice and soft, arms down by your side this time, okay? We're standing up nice and tall, okay? We're going to slide the left hand down the left leg, okay? So here we go. We're going to slide the hand down. Now don't reach too far, only go a little way and then come all the way back up again, okay? And then we go over to the other side, okay? So we're not reaching too far. That's it, just a little way. Wonderful. So as you flex over to the side, you should feel that nice little stretch down the side of the body. You might feel it into the waist a little bit. That's it. So it's a nice way to have a stretch through the body. That's it. Wonderful. Here we go. Here's the last one. Fabulous. We'll come all the way back up to standing. We'll put the hands on the hips because we haven't really worked the legs yet, have we? We're going to do some little knee bends. You only need to bend your knees a little bit. Keep both feet flat on the mat. Here we go. Oh, should we do it with the breathing again? Let's do it with the breathing. So we're going to take a breath in to prepare. And as you breathe out, we're going to go down into the knees and breathe in to stand tall. And again, breathe out, go into the knees and breathe in to stand tall. And again, breathing out. And breathing in. And again, breathing out. And breathing in. That's it. So we never want to go down to the knees too much while we're just warming the legs up. Okay, so just a little knee bend is fine. Wonderful. Now you remember those arm floats we did right at the beginning of our warm-up? Shall we add those in this time? So we'll just keep the knees going. Here we go. We're going to bend the knees. We're going to float the arms. And then stand up tall. That's it. And again, float the arms. And stand up tall. Wonderful. That's it. That's looking really good. Fantastic. Let's do a couple more. Here we go. Breathing out. And breathing in. Breathing out. And breathing in. Wonderful. Let's do some big arm circles. We're going to send the arms all the way up to the ceiling and circle them down. Wonderful. And again, we send them all the way up to the ceiling and then circle them down. Wonderful. Let's do it again. Now, you know those knee bends that we've just done? Should we go into one of those now? So we're going to bend into the knees. We're going to float the arms again. We're going to stand up tall. Here we go. Big arm circles. We reach up to the ceiling and circle them down. Here we go, into the knees. We go down and stand tall. Big arm circles. Let's reach and circle down into the knees and stand tall. Wonderful. Hands on the hips. One thing we haven't done yet, we haven't warmed the feet and the ankles up a little bit. So we're going to start with the left first. All I want you to do is to lift your left heel up off the mat and push right up onto the ball of the foot as much as you can, and then lower the heel back down. Then we lift the other heel up and we lower back down. That's it. Now this is a nice exercise to do because you can focus on standing up nice and tall. Okay, so imagine that thread again coming at the top of your head, lengthening you up while you are working those feet. That's it. Wonderful. Very nice. Let's have the arms down. Now, shall we see how good our balance is? Shall we see if we can go a little bit quicker? So this time, as you lower one heel, pick the other one up. And then we switch. And we switch. And we switch. That's it. Wonderful. Now, if we swing the arm, so we're sort of swinging opposite arm to leg, just like you're walking down the street. Stand up nice and tall. That's it. Look straight ahead. Wonderful. That's it. Very nice. Fantastic. Okay, let's rest the arms, rest the feet there. So there we go. And a very simple warm-up for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down onto the mat and we'll get started with a few exercises there, shall we? Okay. So I think what we'll do is, shall I, before you come down, shall I show you what we're going to do? That would probably be easy, wouldn't it? And then you can have a little look. And then you can come down onto your mat and have a little go. Now, I'll talk you through how you should be setting yourself up on the mat when you come down, because that's easy to do that. I'll just show you the exercises first, shall I? Okay, so we're going to lie with the knees bent, okay? And the first one we're going to do is the legs, okay? So this one is called Scissor Legs. All we're going to do is float the knee up, just to that position, and then lower back down. Okay, so that's our first one. Nice, simple one, keeping that knee bent. Okay, and then we'll do one for the arms. So actually, it's a nice one for the shoulders. This one is. So these are our scissor arms. So we're going to send the arm overhead. We're just going to take it back. Well, as far as it's comfortable for you. So don't really force it to the floor if it doesn't want to go. Just work within your own range of movement. Okay, so it's a really nice one for the shoulders, that one. Okay, those are the first two. Nice and simple. Shall we have a little go? So do you want to make your way down onto the mat? So have something to support your head. Most ladies find that they're better if they've got something under their head. Not too thick. Okay, I've only got a hand towel folded, so it's nice and thin. Okay, make sure you can still see me when you come down. Okay, I'll probably get you to sit up again in a minute for the next little section. Okay. Right, okay then. So what I want you to do, we've got to do a bit of a setup, okay? It's because we want that nice alignment, okay? So we're lying on the mat with the knees bent. I want you to bring your legs together. So your knees and your ankles are touching, okay? You know, at the beginning, the very first thing I got you to do was to fan the feet out. We're going to do the same again. So I want you to fan the heels out. Fan the toes out so your feet and your knees are hip width apart. So don't have your knees together. They need to be slightly apart. That's it. Wonderful. Okay, now, you remember that pelvic tilting that I got you to do in standing? We're going to do that in this position, okay? I think we'll do some Malteser rolling, okay? It's always quite a little popular exercise. So I want you to make a diamond shape with your hand like that, can you see? Yeah, and then I want you to put your hands on your tummy. So your thumbs are just sort of resting in your navel, okay? And then we're going to imagine that you've got a Malteser sitting right in the center of your diamond. What I want you to do now is I want you to flatten your lower back and roll your Malteser to your thumbs. So roll your Malteser to your thumbs. So you've got to like do a little pelvic tilt to sort of feel the lower back sinking into the mat, okay? And then what I want you to do is to roll your Malteser to the fingers. Okay, so to do that, you've got to arch the back, but be careful on this one. Don't force it too much, just a little bit of a tilt. That's it, and we go back the other way. So you flatten the lower back, roll your Malteser towards your thumbs, and then you roll your Malteser back towards your fingers. That's it. And again, it's nice and steady. Like I said earlier, don't rush anything. So go nice and slowly. So you're really aware of what your body feels like and the movement that you've got at the moment in your body. Okay, that's it. Wonderful. We've got to find that neutral position, haven't we? So this time, I want you to roll your Malteser to the center of your diamond. Okay, and hopefully we finished in the right position. So we need to finish with that natural curve, just that little curve in the lower back. What I want you to do now is don't move, don't lift your back, don't move anything. Just take one hand and see how far your hand will go if you slip it under your waist. Don't lift your back up though to try and get the hand under. Ideally, just the top of the fingers should go under. If the whole hand goes through really easily, you're probably still a little bit too arched. So you just need to flatten that lower back into the mat a little bit more. So this is one of those things that I get beginners to do quite often, is to check this neutral position with the hand, because it gives you a good indication then of if you're set up properly. Okay, so this is our positioning. Okay, we are positioned in a good alignment. We're in that nice neutral position for the spine, the position that the spine naturally wants to be in. And it's this position that if we work from here, we know that the lower back is going to be nicely supported, whatever we're doing with the arms and legs. Okay. So on these first two exercises, apart from thinking about what the arms and the legs are doing, I want you to try and remember to stay in that neutral position. Don't let the back arch, because that's one of the most common things. What happens, the back arches and we've got a great big gap. So try and stay in that neutral position. Okay, arms down by the side. Okay. Wonderful. So shall we start with the legs? We're going to do those scissor legs. We're going to start with the left leg. So here we go. We're going to keep the knee bent. We're just going to float the knee up, and then we're going to lower it back down. And then we're going to float the other leg up, and then we float it back down. Wonderful. So nice and steady. That's it. Wonderful. So we've got no arms going on. We're just doing the leg, just alternating the legs. That's it. Wonderful. Very nice. That's looking really good. Just check that neutral position. That's it. Make sure that you haven't lost that position. You haven't arched the back. Wonderful. That looks very good. Here we go. Should we just do one more on the other leg? Here we go. Float and lower. Now, we've finished with the legs, but don't move out of that neutral position. So, do you know what you've been doing as well as moving the legs and staying in that position? You've actually been working those deep core abdominal muscles, because when you position yourself in this way, in order to stay there, those deep abdominal muscles have got to work without even thinking about it. Okay, they've got to hold you in that position. Okay, so we don't sometimes, when we're learning, I don't always tell people to think about well, I normally explain it as to drawing in the abdominal muscles. I've got various different ways of doing it, but a simple way is just to position yourself correctly, and then those deep abdominal muscles start kicking in and start working automatically without you having to think about it, as long as you're positioned properly. Okay, so I want you to stay in that nice neutral position now. We're going to go and work on the arms. Okay, so we need to stay in neutral even with the arms. Okay, you might think the arms are easier, but we're going to put in with the legs in a minute, so we've really still got to think about that neutral position. Shall we start? Let's start with the right arm, shall we? Or should we do this with the breathing? I haven't done breathing for a minute. Okay, so we're going to take a breath in to prepare. And as you breathe out, I want you to send the right arm overhead. Send it back as far as it will go, but don't force it. And then breathing in, we bring the arm all the way back up. We breathe out and send the left arm overhead. And then we breathe in and we come all the way back to center. That's it. And we do it again. So we breathe out, the right arm goes over. And then we breathe in and come back to center. And again, and the left arm goes over. That's it. So you always want to be working within your own range of movement, okay? Sometimes we have restrictions in the shoulders that stop us, so you should never force the arm into any position. That's it, wonderful. We'll make that the last one, shall we? I think we'll keep the arms up. Make sure you're still positioned nicely. What we're going to do this time, we're going to challenge your coordination. So we're going to put those two exercises together. I want you to start with your left leg, float the left knee up and send the right arm overhead. Shall we have a go at that? So here we go. We're going to float the left knee. The right arm goes overhead at the same time, and then we bring everything back to our starting position. Then we switch. So we float the right knee and the opposite arm goes over, and then we come back to center. Wonderful. And again, left leg, opposite arm. That's it. So if you are staying in that nice neutral position now, those abdominal muscles will have to work to keep you in that position. So hopefully now you might just start to feel something going on in those abdominals. That's it. Wonderful. Here we go. Here's the last one. Fabulous. Lower the arms down. Now, I always like to do a little release and just sort of have a little breather and just relax the muscles that have been working. So we're going to do knees to chest. So I want you to pull both knees in towards your chest. Now, you can have your hands under your legs like that, or you can have them on the top, okay, whichever way you find is easier. And then just hug them in nice and tight. Wonderful. Okay, let's pop those feet back down. Now, we've got another couple of exercises, okay? So can I sit you up, okay? Do you want to sit up and have a little look at this, and then you know what you're doing there when you come down, won't you, okay? We're going to stay on the mat, okay? Now, this next exercise is a pelvic stability exercise, okay? So what we've got to do is we've got to find that neutral position. We're going to get those abdominal muscles working without us really having to do much of anything else, while we'll work the legs again. But this time, we're going to have hands on the hips so we can feel what's going on. And we're going to send one leg out to the side. Can you see it's going out? Okay. So the leg is moving, but the pelvis has got to stay completely still. Okay. So that's our first one that we're going to do. Okay. The next one is called a leg stretch. So we are going to straighten out one leg. You keep the foot on the mat and you just slide it away. And then you slide it all the way back in again. Okay, so that's a nice simple one. But when that leg goes out, it's quite easy to lose that neutral position. Now I've got a big arch there. So the challenge on this one is to stay in that neutral position if you can. Okay, so those are our next two. Should we have a little go at those? So bring yourself down again. You've got the towel under your head still. Okay. And then I always say start with the legs together and then fan the feet out, just so that you know you've got that nice leg alignment lined up nicely with the pelvis. Okay. So you can just quickly do a couple of those Malteser rolls again, can't you, if you need to find that neutral position, or you can slide your hand under your waist and do it that way. Okay. So this time I want you to get two fingers and I want you to pop them on your hip bones at the front, because I want you to check and make sure this time that your pelvis stays completely still and it's not moving, okay? We're going to start with the left leg, okay? So all I want you to do is to send the left knee out to the side, okay? And then bring it back up to the center. Bring it back to the ceiling. That's it. Then we do it on the right leg. So you're going to send the right knee out to the side. That's it. And then bring it back up to center. Now, while you keep going with the legs, okay, while you're doing that, I just want you to be aware of what's going on underneath your fingertips, okay? Can you feel the pelvis rolling at all? Do you feel like it's rolling from side to side as you take that knee out? Or is it staying completely still? If it is, that's great. If it's rolling a little bit, usually the main reason for that when we're first learning it is you're making that leg movement too big. So on the next one, just make the leg movements a little bit smaller. And that will help you to fix that pelvis and keep it into position. Okay, that's it. Wonderful. That looks quite good, that does. Let's just do one more on the other leg, shall we? That's it. Wonderful. And then we'll bring that knee back to the top and hold it there. Wonderful. Okay, arms down by the side of you. Just check you're in that nice neutral position again. Get your hand, get it under the waist. Make sure you're not too arched. Okay, let's do our leg stretch. So we're going to straighten out the leg this time. Make sure it doesn't hover, even if it's only a little bit. We don't want the foot hovering or the leg hovering at all on this one. Keep your foot in contact with the floor. We're going to start with the left leg. Or we could do this one with the breathing, couldn't we? So let's take a nice deep breath in to prepare. And as you breathe out, we're going to slide the left leg away. Get it out there nice and straight. And then breathing in, we'll slide it all the way back in. Then we're going to change legs. So we're going to breathe out. We're going to slide the right leg away. And then breathing in, it comes all the way back in. Wonderful. We change legs again. That's it. So don't forget, when that leg goes out nice and straight, I said that's the point that the back might arch. Okay, so you've got to just be mindful of that positioning again. So stay with that, just that tiny little curve in the lower part of the back once that leg is out completely straight. That's it. Wonderful. Here we go. Let's do the last one. Straightening out the leg. And then bring it back in. We'll rest there. Check your position because we're going to do it again. We're going to add in the arms. Now, you know those arms that we did before, arms to the ceiling and they go overhead? We're going to do those again. We're going to add it into the legs that we've just done. So we're going to slide left leg away on the first one and send the opposite arm overhead. Are you ready? Here we go. Left leg goes out, right arm goes overhead, and then we bring everything back to center. Then we switch. So right leg goes out, left arm goes overhead. And then we bring everything back to center. That's it. And we do it again. Opposite arm to leg. That's it. So remember, don't force the arm overhead. Always working within your own range of movements. That's it. Let's just do a couple more, shall we? Here we go. Opposite arm to leg. And return. Last one. Opposite arm to leg. And return. Fabulous. We're going to lower the arms down. Shall we hug the knees to the chest again? Hug them in nice and tight. Have a nice little release. That's it. Wonderful. Okay, put the feet back down. I think we'll change position, shall we? So roll onto your side. Push yourself back up to sitting. Okay. We're going to do a little bit of work in side lying. So this is some nice little exercises to lengthen out the legs, strengthen the hip muscles. Oh, we've got a nice stretch for the chest as well. So what you will need now, because we're coming into side lying, is some extra support for your head. So if you've got that cushion that I mentioned you might need, that will be time to get it ready. If you haven't, extra towels, or if you've got some yoga blocks like me, you can use something like that. Anything that you've got just to lift your head up a little bit, because if you've just got a thin towel like me, if you were to lie with your head on that, I find that quite uncomfortable on my neck. My head just isn't lifted enough. Okay, so you need to have your head lifted so that your neck feels comfortable. Okay. Side lying is nice and easy because if you've got your device positioned well, and you can watch me, we can all do it together. But before you come down, shall I show you what position we're going to come into? We're going to come down like this. Okay. So you're going to lie with the knees bent and the arms out in front. That's the position you need to be with your head nicely supported. So shall we come down into this position, and hopefully you can still see me while you're in side lying. Okay. Are we all there? Right. Okay, so let me just show you the first one we're going to do. We're going to float the top leg up We're going to straighten it out. Okay, now alignment is really important. I've already mentioned that. So just have a little glance down and check and see if your ankle, knee, hip and shoulder are all in a nice straight line. So in other words, don't have your leg forward like that. Okay, have it out so that you're in a nice straight line. Okay, now I've got my leg out to about hip height. Don't take it any higher. This is your starting and finishing position. From here, all I want you to do is to float your leg up a little bit and then lower it back down to that hip height. That's all we're going to do. Are you ready? Here we go. So we do a little lift and a lower. That's it. Do a little lift and lower. Wonderful. And again, do a lift and lower. Do a lift and lower. So you can see I'm not taking the leg too high. It's only a little lift. But I'm trying to keep that leg as straight as I can. That's it. Wonderful. Okay, here we go. Here's the last one. Do a lift and lower. Wonderful. Let's bring the legs back together. So I can feel that working in my hip there, those muscles around the hip. Okay. We'll do the same thing again, shall we? We're going to float the top leg up. We're going to straighten it out. Make sure you're nicely lined up again. Okay. We're going to do some leg circles this time. So we're just going to circle the leg around. Okay, so you keep the leg nice and straight, and you could imagine that your big toe is a pencil, and you're just drawing a little circle on the wall at the end of the room there. That's it, nice little circle. So the whole leg is moving, the movement is coming from the hip joint. That's it, wonderful. Okay. Now, hold the leg out straight. We're going to bring that leg up into a rest position. So I want you to bring the knee up towards the chest and then rest it down onto the floor. Okay, so this is like the knee to the chest, what we did a minute ago. It just puts the leg in a nice position just to relax the muscles that have just been doing all the work. Wonderful. Okay, let's bring those legs back together. Wonderful. Now, I think what I'll do is, if you're having trouble seeing me, okay, while you're doing your exercises, shall I just show you the next two and then you know what's coming then? We've just got two more to do. That's it. Okay, so from here we're going to do arm openings. Okay, so we're working the arms. It's a nice little stretch for the chest, this one. We're going to open out the arm and we're going to reach to the ceiling, and then we're just going to go past just a little bit. So we're not going to open out the arm too much. Okay, and then we bring the arms back down. So that's a nice one to do. A nice one for the shoulders, and it gives us a nice little stretch. So you take it to the ceiling and then just past a little bit. Okay, and then we've got one more for the legs. Okay, so this is called the clam. It's like a hip strengthening exercise. This one, I use this one a lot. It's a really effective exercise. You keep the feet together and you open out the knee. Okay, so that'll be our last one. Okay, so that's the clam. Okay, so now you're familiar with those. Shall we have a little go at the arm opening? Okay, so we're down on the mat, knees are bent, the arms are out in front. Now, when you open out the arm, I want you to look at your hand as it goes over the top. Now, this is a really nice one to do with the breathing. So shall we have a little go at the breathing again? I want you to take a breath in to prepare. And as you breathe out, let's open out the arm. Keep it going. Turn your head, look at the hand. It goes to the ceiling, then past a little bit. Then hold it there and take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, you're going to bring that arm all the way back down. Back to your starting position. Wonderful. That's it. Let's do that again. So as you breathe out, you open out the arm, turn the head, follow the hand, hold it out there for a nice deep breath in. And then breathing out, we bring those arms back together. Wonderful. Very nice. Let's do that one again, shall we? Here we go. Breathing out, open out the arm, turn the head, follow the hand, hold it out there for a breath in. And then breathing out, we bring the arms back together. Wonderful. Rest the arms there. Let's give the clam a little go this time. So we're going to come back to the legs. So remember on this one, the feet stay together and you're just opening out the knee. Are we ready? Here we go. So we're going to open out the knee and then close the knee. And again, we open out the knee and close. That's it. Let's open and close. Let's open and close. Wonderful. So again, don't force the knee open. Okay, just work within your own range of movements. You can see my knee isn't opening too much at all. Here we go. Last one. Let's open and close. Wonderful. So we've got 4 simple exercises to do in side line. We've got to make sure we've got the balance, the body balanced properly though, so we need to do it on the other side. So pop your hand down and push yourself up to sitting, and then we're going to turn over. Okay, so I'm just going to flip myself over, so I'm lying the other way on my mat, and we're going to do it again. Okay, so again, make sure your head is nicely supported. So you've got the arms out in front, you've got the knees bent. So remember that first one we did, it was the leg out straight, the lift and the lower. So we're going to do that one again first, okay? So we're going to float the top leg up and straighten out so it's at hip height. And again, just have a glance down, make sure you've got that nice alignment, all nicely lined up. Okay, the legs at hip height. We're going to take, we'll do it with the breathing, shall we? Take a breath in, and then as you breathe out, we're going to float the leg up just a little bit more, and then breathe in as it comes back to hip height. Off we go again. We breathe out, we float the leg up, and then we breathe in, it comes back to hip height. That's it. And again, breathing out, float the leg, and breathe in as it comes back down. Wonderful. So we want that nice straight leg. That's it. The leg only comes down to hip height. Don't let the foot come all the way down onto the mat. That's it. Wonderful. Here we go. Here's the last one. Do a lift and lower. Fantastic. Bring the legs back together. Okay, so the next one we did was the leg circling. Okay, should we try that one? So we're going to float the leg up again and straighten it out. So it stays at about hip height this time. And then when you're ready, we're just going to start that little circle going. So you can see I'm not making a very big circle with my foot. I'm keeping it nice and small. Okay? We don't need to make a big circle to feel those muscles working in the hip. A small circle will do just as good a job. That's it. Wonderful. Okay, last circle. We're going to bring the leg into our rest position. So we're going to bring the knee up towards the chest and rest it down on the floor. That's it. Wonderful. Okay, so it's time to give the legs a little rest. We're going to do our arm opening this time. So let's just bring those legs back together. Okay. Are we ready? Or we'll do it with the breathing again, shall we? So we're going to take a breath in to prepare. And as you breathe out, we're going to open out the arm. You're going to turn your head, follow your hand. The hand just goes past the ceiling, the center of the ceiling there. And then we hold it out there for a breath in. And then as you breathe out, we bring those arms back together. And then we do it again. So we breathe out, we open out the arm, turn the head, follow the hand, hold it out there for a breath in. And then breathing out, we come back to center. Wonderful. One more time. Here we go. Breathing out, open out the arm, turn the head, follow the hand, hold it out there for a breath in. And breathing out, we bring the arms back together. Wonderful. Okay, last one is the clam. Feet together, we're opening out the knees. So here we go. Are we ready? Let's open out the knee and then close the knee. And again, we open out the knee and close. That's it. Wonderful. So remember again on this one, don't force the knee open if it doesn't want to go. Just work within your own range of movement. That's it. Wonderful. Here we go again. We open and close. Very nice. That's looking good. Here we go. Let's just do one more, shall we? Let's open and close. We could bring that leg up into our rest position again, couldn't we? Just to relax those muscles that have been working. Wonderful. Okay, I think we'll finish with a little stretch, shall we? So if you bring your legs back together, what I want you to do now is just to roll onto your back. So I'm going to move my head support away. Okay, so I'm a bit flatter on the mat. I think I'm just going to put my towel back under my head actually. Okay. We're going to have a full body release. So all I want you to do is to straighten out both legs and then send both arms overhead as far as you can. And then just feel like you're being pulled with your arms and pulled with your legs, lengthening you out through the whole of the body. Wonderful. And then we're going to relax the arms down. We're going to bring the feet back in. And then from there, you can roll onto your side and push yourself back to sitting. Wonderful. There you have it. All done.